Hello and welcome to Factorio. I'm Trismegistus, and this is my continuing series where I attempt to build a Megabase. We are doing very well. We are at White Science. So I mentioned this in the... Let's see if I can turn it on. There we go. I mentioned this in my Satisfactory stream yesterday. They've added something to the Twitch Studio Beta, and I'm trying to test it out on my streams through the week, and it is this. It is a drawing ability. So there's like a brush tool, and you can draw on the stream. Now, hopefully that's coming through. I'm kind of doing this because I'll watch it back later and see if it's actually worked. And the idea is that you can draw on the display, basically, and it gets you like the delete tools. We've got various colors. And it might be quite useful for games like this, in particular Factorio, so that I can where I'm microphone's in shot. Of course it is. There we go. Where I'm wibbling on about do this on the map over here and that on the map over there and all that sort of stuff, and you can draw it on, and I think that'll be quite useful because it's very easy to clear and stuff, and you do undos and all that sort of stuff. And it's got some shapes as well in case you want to do something specific. But yeah, it's quite cool. I've no idea whether that come through. It could just be me wibbling away to myself. Oh, hello, Ian. How are you doing? I was just talking about they added a drawing tool to the Twitch Studio. I don't know if you saw that, but it might be quite useful for games like Factorio because it'll let me highlight, like when I'm on the map. And say, right, we'll do this here and that there and all that sort of stuff. But yeah. Right, let's get the game loaded up. Very useful. It does. It comes through then. So I was a bit sort of worried that it just looked like me, talking about it, and it's just there's nothing on the screen, sort of thing. Right. So where the heck were we? I haven't played since last weekend. Oh yeah. Okay. So last weekend, I laid down basically the designs, and we've made one of the space science, the satellite build, and the that's the satellite build and the plastic build, one of those. So what we need to do now is test them, basically. So normally that would involve me doing outposts, but there's a whole load of material kicking about here that I can basically just hook up to feed in, essentially. So for each of the White Science builds, I've got 2 copper stations, 2 iron stations, and 1 coal station. And I only want to test the design because this is copied over exactly. Excuse me. So I can literally go and hook, do a bit of smelting here, hook this in, and we can just, hook it in basically, and we'll test. It's all the belts and all that sort of stuff they need to test rather than the train stations. I then need to do the same thing for the plastic. The plastic is purely coal-based, but of course it's coal liquefaction. So, it also lacks, it's not got the boilers on it and stuff like that. In fact, that's a point. I don't think this will have no, it's not got the boilers on. There they go. So they're in a chest over here. So I do need to do that. But this is coal liquefaction. So I'll have to stick in the starter heavy oil. And then the satellite ones are a bit more complicated in that there is bits and pieces missing, basically. So we'll have to fill them out properly. Yeah, I hope you're well, Ian. What was I going to say there? Yeah, I think you now got your computer and you've been playing. I think you said you're up at Blue Sites last time we saw you, but or I saw, or you joined. So I was just wondering how you were getting on, how you're finding the game. I'm not sure I'm not coming down with a cold because I'm sort of very, very snotty. Right, so let's get on with that then. So where the heck are we? Over there. So what we might do first then, so I probably should have prepped this a little before, but we need to go and get these. I have some barrels over here. I think over here we go. With oh, I did anyway. Where the heck am I? I bet I've left them in some other build, have I? Right. I could always just make some more. They're probably going to be over here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, they're over there. I'll just leave them there, I think. And we will make some more. I only need like 10. Or something. Is that 10? It's probably one too many, is it? 10, there we go. It just got gold science going, crikey. How are you finding gold science? It's weirdly, I think it's easier than the purple science. Purple science is sort of slightly heavier material, but I think it's easier because it's simpler. So it's it's obviously just the iron and copper mostly, whereas purple science has got all the bricks and the stone in it. So it's a bit more complicated, purple science, I think. Now I'm trying to get my electric generation boosted. I'm building solar and trying to work out how the nuclear energy runs. Yeah, nuclear's quite interesting. So I always do this design, which is obviously a 2x2, because you get a boosting effect. I don't know if it explains that properly in the game. That's probably quite loud for you, but it does. You get like a boosting effect where it increases the like the power production essentially if you have them in a row. So you can have, you see, I think a lot of people go with 2x4, which is even more efficient. Even bigger boost because it stacks basically. So the more you have next to each other, the bigger the boost you get. 200% neighbor bonus, as you can see down the bottom there. But if you had, but I say it's because there's two on either. So if you had a third one there, it would be 300%. If you had a fourth one, it would be 400%. But then you wouldn't be able to get any fuel in other than by manually feeding it in. But the trick with nuclear, one of the little secrets to it, is that the heat pipes lose heat as you go down the way. So obviously it's pulling heat, into the system anyway. But they get it, the heat sort of declines as you go further away. So the longer you have those, the less steam you can produce out of them, basically. So if this was a gigantic, one of the reasons I do it like this is because if that was a gigantic long line of turbines, the end would actually be quite cold because it does decline quite quickly. Right, so if we go and stick these barrels into this machine over here, is everyone restock? If I restock as well, then that should get us the missing inserters and stuff. So if I stick these in here, get them filled up, and grab them. Oh, bum, has it put them? I think it's just instantly taken those away, isn't it? Yeah, so we do that. I think I might actually, if I make 10 more, we can have 2 lots, just in case. Yeah, I quite like playing with a nuclear, but it's not actually the big thing. The thing that's complicated, I would say, is Coverix, the Coverix enrichment, which is which is the processing thing, because your yield on your I always get the numbers the wrong way around, but whichever it is, the 235, 238, whichever one it is very low when you do this process. So you have to do the Coverix to get more out of it. And as you can see, you can actually set it up pretty simply, with just a few chests. And this is not. It's not the disadvantage of this simple way of doing it is that you end up with a lot of material sort of trapped in this system because there's like 100 in there, 100 in there, and then it fills up that chest basically. So you have to have loads of stuff floating around. But once you've got it, as you can see, I mean, these are sat here idle basically. And there's just one running here and stuff like that. And once it's up and running, and that's supporting, I don't know how many there are there now. Must be about 25 or something, 20. How are we doing on these barrels? Still stuff going? Once it's going, the thing with nuclear, I think to get people to use it, they made it super abundant. Because all it's really used for is obviously the nuclear power, nuclear train fuel, and the depleted uranium ammo. Basically, you can do. There's a couple of other. You can do like depleted uranium shells and stuff, and obviously the atomic bomb. But and they are quite expensive and quite hungry for material. But ultimately, they put so much on the map that I mean, I think I've only used up like 2 patches of uranium in the entire whatever time we're on now, about 400 hours or something, 500 hours. Is that everything delivered? That's everything delivered. Okay, so we will. Next, we'll head down here. I quite like to test the plastic build first, which. There's coal there. So we're going to have to run the coal over, I think. I've got a more convenient coal patch? Not really. The other thing is maybe starting a drone network. Okay. Yeah, bots are. It's. I mean, I prefer belts as a way of doing things. But the bots have massive advantages. I mean, the big thing I really love about bots is the building, basically. So it gets away from the need to hand build everything. And we can still do lots of hand stuff. But particularly when you have blueprints, just stamping stuff down and getting bots to do it, extending the bus and all that when I was doing it, it's just so much quicker and easier and simpler. The logistics side of it is obviously very useful. Particularly, I find I tend to do this stuff with it. So when I get into the stage where I'm just making everything, I stick everything in logistics chests and then have the bots deliver it. And that simplifies that. That does away with a lot of spaghetti, basically. That's one of the big things I like about them. But I'm not a big fan of because you can use them for mining. So basically, and I should really be doing that. I think I'm at that stage. In fact, actually, I should start some more. I forgot to queue up some of these. We got sufficiently big boost to mining. Are we there yet? No, not yet. Sufficiently big boost to mining that actually, where are my mining patches? Here we go. So when these fire up, it's literally 1 or 2 drills will fill the entire belt. And you're actually more efficient and better to use bot mining then, because basically you spread it out in a sense. So you would have every single of these would empty into a chest, and then bots would pick it up and stick it in these chests. And you used to get a lot of issues where, for example, these ones are a lot closer to these, and what would essentially happen is that the bots would take the stuff from here and put it in here first, and so you would end up with a very uneven distribution of material. Obviously, that's not what I'm doing smelting anyway, but you end up with an uneven distribution of material, and there weren't really many ways around that other than to do very, very direct, stuff, or mess around with different chest types and all that sort of stuff. But they sorted all that out basically, and the bots now will evenly distribute things to the chest. So if you have, all of these chests, they will stick it in evenly across them. So bots and belts are just just as good as each other now, basically. And it's kind of up to you. Right, so if I grab them as well, then we can go and stick these on the plastic. I think oh, no, don't fill that out yet. Yeah, they're quite difficult to set up, to build, because there's an awful lot of material goes into bots. Really. Where's the boilers? Oh, here we go. Awful lot of material goes in. Oh, those aren't hooked up to water, are they? That's not very good. Is this whole thing not hooked up to? Because that's the... No, so I put them on. I just haven't brought any water down here, have I? Okay, let's go do that then. I need to hop out. Probably need to turn them off. Let's do that. Yeah, so it can be quite a difficult thing to produce, but you can do... It's a good introduction to the circuit network as well, because you can... you can like control the number of bots in the system. So if I put that on that one, like that, and it gives you sort of a good first introduction if you haven't done anything with it already. But as to how the signal system works in the bots, sorry, in the logistics network. Quite a bit of uranium, but like stone. Beautiful mess of mesmerizing belts. Everyone does. It's kind of the best way to play, really, and is to not worry about that sort of thing, because I think a lot of new players. Let's just clear some of these out. A lot of new players, they keep restarting rather than finishing, the that particular map, and they worry that they've made some mess, that's sort of unrecoverable, or is really bad or whatever, and it's just better to just plow on, basically, and just finish that map, finish that game, because you learn so much by finishing the game. Well, like this, I mean, I've made so many bad decisions in a sense, not really, because it's a learning process. Right, so if we take this up here, but I didn't say, oh right, well I'm just going to abandon it and start again. You just plow on, and you learn so much. And it's like I've come to the decision that we're going to do outposting differently, because it's become such a enormous task that it's even dawned on me in my pig-headedness that we're going to have to do something different, or I'm going to be here till next Christmas, basically. Right, so that's not going to be lined up very well, is it? Oh, that's inconvenient. But it's things like that, you learn from doing, basically, I think, is the best way with a game like this. Right, let's see if we can at least get water in. We will almost... Well, we're going to need some pumps, I think, to get the water flowing. Not sure why this has got... Oh, wait, what? Oh, no, of course, the steam. Right, let's take them out as well. Tidy it up a bit. Right, so what we need to do now is hook a bit of coal in, which probably means that patch there. Yeah. So it's going to be a great big long belt, basically. So I say I don't really actually need to do anything other. In fact, let's bring everybody with me. Anything other than sort of hook one lane of coal in. I'm not, I'm just testing the actual belts, really, rather than the actual productivity of it. It's quite a long way away, this. Let's get in Spidey. But yeah, we'll just chuck a couple of miners on this. In fact, I've got the old blueprint. I'm sure we've got enough stuff in the spiders. Right. No, that's the wrong thing. There it is. Other way. So I'll just chuck crude and dirty on. There, like that. And then we'll hook this across here because it's nice and close. So that should kick in. There you go. See, it completely saturates the belts from just a few miners, basically. So it's a bit sort of redundant having so many, but there you go. Let's take this up here. We want to kind of avoid these trees, really. So probably this isn't a bad place to turn, I think. So we'll have to come and pick all this up, but yeah, whatever. Oh, my bonds aren't on either, so we can add to that. Right, so this is the built one. So if we go up here somewhere, let's just bring them up to here. Like that. Take that bit out. Like that. There we go. Right, so let's just check. So there is stuff. Have we missed? Oh, there's a little gap there. Okay. Let's send you lot over that way to fix that gap. And I'll go and plug one in each of these. What's a nice easy way of doing it that won't cause too much chaos? What I could do, I could hook it in there, I think. Like that. Like that. And then, say, all very temporary. So I don't care about prettiness or anything. And then simply a case of hooking in here. And then, same again, I guess. So we take it over that way. Over there. Over, say, oops, that way. No. Okay, let's undo that. Oops, like that. Like that. Like that. Now, are my... So that's all done. Let's bring them all up along the belt. Make sure we have material flowing all the way up. Super duper. Excellent. So they got up to here, so we'll have them follow me now. And we'll just make sure this is heading in where it needs to be. We then need to charge the heavy oil system once we've got some actual coal flowing up into it. So obviously it was spread out massively around the baits, the belts, not the baits. So it'll take a little while for these all to grab a little bit of coal. But we're all okay so far. These guys are all grabbing coal. So they won't do anything because they need a bit of heavy ore to start. So we have to charge the system. Have to be a little careful where I put that, but everyone is grabbing coal there. So I think this is the return, isn't it? This is the return line. Oh, what's that meant to be connected to? So there's an error already. There's meant to be another thing there. Imagine I took that out because oh, so it's one short. Okay. So we do that. So is that because that's the input? How is that connected? Is there nothing connecting? Oh no, it's at the top, isn't it? Yeah, so you get a feedback there, you see. So I think if I literally feed this in here, so this is going to unbarrel. What I need to do actually is be a little bit careful on that because if I disconnect this one for the time being, because we're not going to get that much oil out of these. So if we unbarrel, we hook that into there, like that. We give it, say, 5. Where did that go? So it pumped it to there. Doesn't have any steam. Oh dear. Why does it not have any steam? Pardon? Why have you not got steam? Steam. What? So you're there, you're saying you've not got steam, even though... Oh, there's no steam in that one. Why is there no steam in that one? Oh! Because that's slightly too far. Huh. I guess because I've just copied that over. See, this is the tiny little things that... And that's not even... That's the same... Going to be the same issue. So, to do that there, you see. So this is the exact sort of stuff that we need to troubleshoot. So in theory, one of you has started. Awesome. And it's chunking away, so we need to reconnect that. Now, as you get oil, so you're the feed round there. So how is heavy getting into there? It isn't, is it, at all? But what's the feedback process for that one? Oh, it's here. Okay. So... Probably be better to do the same thing. I'll get out there. So if I disconnect that, then we grab this machine again, and we plop it down here, I think. Get it to empty them. Pop another 5 in there. So that charges this one, which kicks in. does some business. That pumps it back round, so we can pick that up again. Put that back in. And the others should kick in. Yeah. So, I mean, they're getting nowhere near enough coal, but it just proves the principle, basically. So, everyone is running on this side. Can we do the same over here? What was the... So, I need to put... I guess heavy in there. So, if we disconnect that one. To empty the barrel. 5 in there. Comes through there. Feedback loop. Cool. Connect that back up. And then could just do the same here. So if we disconnect this, pop this on, pop it onto that, pop them in, get this machine going, and I get some stuff into the system, reconnect that. So are they all running? They're all running, but they're going to run out of coal very quickly, which is fine. There's no coal. Oh, look. There's another error there. Because, oh no. Don't fill those out. Because we need... But there's no... Okay. I've got no belts, so they're not going to do that. Right, so all run in there. What I might just quickly do is essentially refill the barrels that I've got. Like so. Okay, so let us see if other things are happening. So there's white light in all of these. They're not doing anything. Why are you not doing anything? Because we should have plastic being made. Oh, is it just backed up? Oh, of course it's just backed up, isn't it? But what we can see is if all of these machines have plastic... Oh! Oh no, that's... let's just run out of light. So it's not running. Okay. So it's just hover over all of these here. So you've got. Because if they got plastic in each of the machines, it's odd that that's only 46, but okay. Then that means they got petroleum basically, and they got coal. So they were able to produce plastic. And that's the key thing. If it turns out it's not efficient, bottlenecks, blah blah blah, I can sort that out later. But for the time being, all I really want to know is that all of those make plastic, and they did all appear to make plastic. So we can also check here. I know these are identical, so I'm not going to check all of those. Where's the heavy to light? There we go. So they've all got stuff in them, basically, is the point. Excellent, 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 excellent. Right, so what we'll do now is we'll nip back down, because we don't actually want this running as such, necessarily. But what we are going to want is we're going to need to take plastic over to this build and then this build, because they do actually use plastic. Not quite sure I'm going to do that because it's an awful long way to go with some belts. But yeah, we'll take that as a tick in the box. To that works. So, what's the question there? So, can you add pumps in line to boost steam pressure? You can indeed. Yes, you can. Steam is, I mean, obviously we know steam is not. It's not quite the same as water, but as far as the game is concerned, it's identical. So all fluids are identical, and they don't have any kind of viscosity. I'm sure they probably do in the code, but there's no sort of concept of. So heavy oil is not thicker than light oil. Petroleum gas is not actually a gas. It's just fluid, and then it calls it whatever it calls it. So you don't have to worry about. Well, I was going to say you don't have to worry about flow rates. You do have to worry about flow rates because it's a bit the way they've done the fluid mechanics is very strange. You get very strange effects. It's why I hate them and why I've slowly gone more towards cold liquefaction. But tanks, effectively, are one of the biggest problems because what the system tries to do essentially, you have to imagine it like they're all like water, and basically, if you put fluid in there, it essentially sloshes back and forwards, try until it evens out. And I say there is obviously some kind of viscosity to the system because it doesn't just infinitely slosh about, but basically it tries to even up like the proportion in each of the pipes. But of course, these hold a lot more, so you get some very strange effects, particularly with pumps, where you pump the stuff out, and you would expect, because of your understanding of fluids as a human being, real fluids in the real world, that you would have a pump here and it would pump stuff straight down here and all that. It just doesn't work like that. And I think you were telling me that is it like 17 segments, sections of pipe or something? Is like the maximum for pressure. Oh. And I'm pretty sure at some point we're going to have to go back and basically fix the Gold Science build because it's got way too few pumps on it, basically. Let's say we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Doesn't even work properly yet, so don't need to worry about fixing it. I'm grabbing all of these because we're going to have to, say take the plastic over to the other build, so we'll need all these bits of stuff. So if we put some of them in you, get rid of them. But they've been put there basically by various other bolts, so other, Spidertrons. So I've got more than I can hold in my inventory. So if we just start picking some of that up. Oh. Right, so we run out of room there. What about you? Have you got room for belts? Yes, you have. Oh. Finding that out with my refineries, I think I added too many tanks. I'm going to have to rethink my layout. Yeah, one of the tricks with fluids, basically, is that, so I don't think I've even got any refineries on me. Somebody must have somewhere. There's all sorts in these. So one of the things with refineries, obviously you get, your first recipe is the basic oil processing, and what you're going to use the most of is petroleum. So it's actually quite a good recipe to stick with, basically, because it's going to produce for you what you need the most of. It's not very efficient, but it's worth basically sticking with that for quite a while, because it's only when you get like lube and a few other things that you start needing the other materials. So it's worth sticking with that for quite a while if you're not, when you're new to the game, basically. When you get the advanced oil, the key thing with this is it doesn't give you what you need in the right ratio. So it gives you a lot more heavy than you need. So what you need to master, the trick you need to work out is, because what it also gives you when you do that recipe is, oops, oh, I've just not got, I'm going to have to plop them all down. What it also gives you, what can I get rid of? If I put some more belts in somebody, that'll do. Basically, what it also gives you is the whole cracking. Because what used to happen is you had basic oil processing used to give you all of the material. It used to give you heavy and light as well as petroleum. And so what you would have to do is fill up some tanks with heavy and light that you basically had nothing to do with. You couldn't really use them, and certainly not in the volume it would give you. So a lot of players got trapped into the idea of having like big fields of pipes, big fields of storage containers full of heavy and light oil, and sort of thinking in terms of it being like a storage area or something like that. The trouble with that is the fluid mechanics is just horrible, as I say. So these wouldn't empty evenly, and the performance would just tank, basically. And so what they did is they switched the basic processing to just be petroleum, which is what you need most of, and certainly need to begin with, and to do the research to get advanced oil. But the key really is to do away with tanks altogether. Don't use tanks other than as effectively like decision points. So obviously you can put pumps on them, and this is again where circuit networks and stuff come in, and you can get basically it will read the contents of the tank and send it to the pump, and then you can make it a decision. So if it's this, for example, has got heavy oil in it, you can say, right, well, you switch on when heavy oil goes above 5,000 or something. So it's saying, because this is one of the tricks with, I don't know if you've done any programming, but one of the things, it does a lot of things automatically for you. So you don't have to automatically detect that, you don't have to set up any logic to say, if it's this type of fluid, do this type of thing. It does that automatically. And you can just put the logic condition on it. And what you can then do is you can then have a different condition, or no condition at all, on the other pump. So this one could be if this goes, I don't know, above, 1,000 or something like that. So there'll always be 1,000 in the tank, and then when it goes above 1,000, it does that one. And when it goes above 5,000, it does that one. And you can set whatever condition you want. And basically what you can have then is you can say, right, well, what I need to make some heavy. I need to make some lube. So this one I'll connect up to lube. But if it backs up, you don't need very much lube. So if it backs up, you then send it to a chemical plant, which cracks the heavy oil into light oil, which you will need more of, basically. So what that does is that ensures that you've got some lube being made, but when you've got too much heavy oil, it doesn't back up. Because what happens when you have that sort of thing on is if this fills up, it'll just stop. So if it filled up with heavy oil, it would stop and it wouldn't produce any more petroleum and light oil, which is what you need more of. And you can get into the maths of how much cracking do you need and all that sort of stuff. But generally speaking, I just go with crack it all. Just whack down as many labs as you've got, and crack all of the heavy. Give it more capacity to do cracking than actual material it needs to crack, basically. And then you don't have to worry about the logic side of it. Yeah, the advanced soil. I thought about doing some actual. I've been trying to think because I'd quite like to do some, YouTube videos, like as in proper. Because obviously I put the VODs up, and I know people watch them, and that's great, and I really appreciate it. Anyone watching my stuff, but I'd quite like to. Why the heck have I got these without any power? In fact, why is that far enough away? Oh, there's one missing here, isn't there? Okay. So if I undo that, then we need something there to connect them. I'm a bit amazed. What? How did it? Oh, it got it from the other side because this is feeding in both sides. Okay. So what we'll do then, we'll take a single line of the plastic that it's made. We'll go sort of up here, out the way, so we don't accidentally fill this out. Because we've made a few corrections to this, so I need to redo these blueprints, but I'll do that. That's an off-stream thing, basically. Because I'll have to pick them up and work out exactly where they need to go again and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I mean, oil is a good one to do a tutorial on, I think, or tips video or something like that, maybe. Because I know it is one people struggle with. The difficulty with it is it's quite complicated to explain. And it's like, I don't know, it seems like it would take me hours and hours and hours to write a fairly decent tutorial. Where the heck do I need to feed the plastic in? So these are all... There's red circuits there, so that's going to need some plastic. So I need a bit there. Oh, look, I've not even hooked the copper up. That's wrong, isn't it? Where was copper coming in? So that was iron plate. Yeah, right. So something's gone wrong there. Because I don't have copper on that side. Why don't I have copper on that side? So I don't have any, incomplete belts. So it looks like I've just not... Is that... Because that's copper. I've not put the right balancers on and stuff, basically, I think. Okay. So I need 1, 2, 3 belts of copper. That I don't have. Okay, so... I wonder what balancer that is. It's a 2, 4, 5, isn't it? 2, 4, 5. So what we could do, we could make one a 7 and one a 6. And that'll give me 3 extra lanes. That'll feed around. These are not heavy demand, so it's not going to be a problem, I don't think. So if we make this an 8 to 7... I'm quite keen to draw it out of both sides rather than... No, 8 to 7, not 6 to 7. Have it all come out of one side. So, this then needs to be a 8 to 6. Or at least, not have the dispute, not have it... I know what I'm talking about. Even if I'm not explaining that properly. Yeah, so I have basically... Let's just get rid of these trees. Oops. Converting over to solid fuel to use up the oil and set up standalone plants for petroleum gas. It's getting me by for now, but I like the circuit network idea. Yeah, as I say, I mean, it's the circuit network is something that you can go like really heavy on, or it's something you can just dabble with a little bit. It's a very flexible system they've come up with. One of the biggest things to it is that you can. It's not technically the circuit network, but one of the things you can do, particularly with most in fact all inserters, is you've got these little buttons here, and basically you can set up both logistics conditions and circuit network conditions. So what I've done in the main base, basically, for everything is, for example, if we were producing, what's an example? Roboports. I would say, right, well, I don't want more than 100 roboports. Okay, so I've got two options for doing that. If there is absolutely no way, well, actually, quite another nice little trick to get into is to use, because the differences between passive and storage are a little subtle, but what you can do is you can set a filter basically on this. I haven't done this because I don't tend to prefer it, but what you can do is set a filter on this so that if the robots end up with some logistics, end up with some roboports, because you deconstruct a load of stuff, they'll put these in here preferentially, and they won't put anything else in. So they'll use this as a storage place for roboports. Of course, if they get more, they will then find some other chest to stick them in. So essentially, you've got two options, and say you can do both. Is that you can connect an inserter to a chest, and then you've got both options basically. So, clicked on the wrong thing. So you've got both options. So the logistics network is obviously we would want a roboport. This is the logistics network it's in, basically. So the green area is your construction area. The orange area is your logistics area. So any bots in that area and any entity in that area is in that logistics network. So all of these with the yellow line are connected. And what the option there does is of that one, the logistics connection, is basically you don't have to bother with wires. So you can literally just hit the connect button and have it have some condition. So we've got a chest, and say this example making roboports, and what we want with our logistics network condition is to say, right, if there are roboports, if there are less than 50 roboports, it has this enable disable. You can't do anything else. It's just in case modders wanted to do something else. But what that does is says, right, I'm not going to turn on unless there are less than 50 roboports in this network. Right? It's on red because there's no power. Let's just stick some power on. And you can do very similar things with most. You can't do it, you see, with pumps. I don't think. But that's a way of doing like a generic system where it says, right, I'm just looking at the entire roboport network. If there are less than 50, then I switch on. So you will never have more than 50 roboports in your system. The other way of doing it is you can, say, do the red wire, which is the circuit connection. And again, you've got some slightly different options there of setting the stack size and that sort of thing. And in this case, we'd say, right, well, if this chest that it's connected to has less than 10, then you can turn on. So I've given it two different conditions, basically, and they're a little contradictory because it's saying, I mean, you would actually probably do it the other way around, sort of thing. I mean, you wouldn't do both usually, but basically what it's saying is that if there's less than 50 in this chest, then turn on, and if there's less than 50 in the system as a whole, then turn on. And you can do both if you want, but you wouldn't usually do both of those. But I say what the logistics system does is it lets you do those sorts of logic settings without actually having to bother with green wires, red wires, and all that sort of stuff. And I say the big advantage of that is that you don't have to hook up. I don't have to connect these to some generic system, that's counting, the roboports, and you don't have to bother with combinators and any of that stuff. You can just do simple conditions saying, right, well, check what's in the chest or check what's in the system as a whole, and it just works it all out for you. And say that's one of the big kind of quality of life things, really, that Wooby rather has done. to make all of that a lot easier. But you can get into a lot more complicated stuff. It does tend to involve the old combinators. Let's go down a bit. So let's go across there. Across there. Like that. So I'm kind of keen to have it coming out of both sides here. And I think I'm going to actually put a balancer on it as well. Cool. But yeah, so as far as I know, in fact, let's just test it. I don't think. Oh, you can. Huh. That's interesting. I didn't actually know you could do it. I know you can do the circuit network, but so you could actually hook it up to the entire logistics system and set a general condition. So in other words, the trouble with that, I guess, though, is that tanks aren't automatically in the logistics system. That is not automatically in logistics, and it's only got the circuit network condition. So you couldn't set a condition on this that says, right, only turn on if there's, what might you want to do? You might want to do something. In fact, it's not even giving me the options. No, you see, there's not even the option to do it. So if you had, didn't have any lube in the system, for example, and you wanted it to turn on, you can't even do that via the logistics system because it's not going to be automatically in the logistics system because you can't put it in a chest. You could do something complicated with barrels, but that would be weird. But it's interesting you can connect it. I guess you could have it so that it says, right, if there's no plastic in the system, turn on. That'd be interesting. Huh, I never knew you could do it connected to the logistics. So I guess it's because I always do it based on the actual, what is going on with this particular tank and have it turn on or off and on. Interesting. Right, so now let's put that one closer. Like that. Oops. And this satellite's a one-off basically, so there's not really any blueprint that I need to kind of fix as such, but that's not a problem. Right, so let's go over here. Maybe if I underground that one, make my life slightly easier there. Because I need to go there. Like that. And then maybe hop, skip, and a jump across there. Like that. And then like that. Cool. So that's obviously something I missed when I was setting up before. But solid fuel is a good thing to stockpile as a general point, because you're basically going to need loads and loads of rocket fuel. And rocket fuel, of course, is made from solid fuel. So, also, to be totally frank, you can stick solid fuel in boilers. It's quite a good thing, to stick in boilers. So if you didn't want to bother stockpiling it, you can actually just burn it in boilers, or or stick it in trains. It's good fuel to use in trains. So, if you need a sort of a way of getting rid of excess material, then solid fuel is quite a good option. And you can make solid fuel out of everything, basically. You need light fuel, don't you? I forgot they changed the recipe. Not light fuel, light oil. Oh, no. Was it the rockets? The rocket fuel they changed in. Oh yeah, that needs light oil. So yeah, I mean stockpiling. That's what I used to do basically when instead of messing about with too much in the way of logic systems before I'd really sort of got my head around it, I would just have fields of chests basically full of solid fuel, which I would then just purely convert to rocket fuel basically. It's not a bad solution that at all. Actually, let's make that a bit further over. Put that there. Okay. Oh. Okay. I'll stick an inserter, a splitter there, because we need plastic elsewhere, but we need you lot to fill out the belts, please. Cool, so there's some plastic there. This is oil-based, isn't it, I think? I'm not... Because it's just making rocket fuel from oil, I think. And isn't there an oil patch somewhere? Oh. I mean, there's one here. Any others? No. Let's go and hook that up first, actually. Because that's a simple little thing. So we'll just punch a little hole in the solar panels. And literally put one oil thing down. Where's the patch? Must be here. So let's say, what's that? That might be an easy one to do. Is that going to be... Yeah, that'll work. So we're going to need to take all of these out just so that there's nothing in the way of the pipes. Has somebody got some more pipes? They have. Okay. All right. Yeah. Boilers, smelters, and trains with solid fuel. Yeah. So it's a great way of using it. Because effectively, because it's coming out of oil, because oil never runs out, so you've got like an infinite fuel basically. I mean, it does decline heavily, but you've got infinite fuel. So we'll put a little cheeky thing in there. I think run this up the top here, maybe like that. There won't be the right pressure in this or anything. In fact, we may need some pumps just because it's so far. But so I just want to prove the system, basically. In fact, this is a very long way, so... It'll be okay. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And then you there. Oops. Is that there? Spiders are in the way. Please move out the way. Pop that there. So you're mainly like boiler-based power then? Are you doing solar as well? Because it's worth having both, basically. Even if you don't go down the route of doing solar fields. We have something running somewhere. It's worth having a bit of solar because it's quite a good backup. Because it's sort of There are no beacons in these, so there's an error. Might just... Might just circumvent that so that some goes in there as well. So I can test both parts of it. So you're running. You're occasionally... well, we have some solid fuel here. It's a difficult one to test this because a tiny little flow of stuff isn't what this is designed to handle. But I can see lots of light oil in pipes and stuff, so I'm happy that that's okay. Okay, so we'll take out this temporary rubbish. Oops. Right, everyone's in the way again. Always in the way, spiders, always in the way. So we want that there, that there. Cool. Just started building a solar field, I think over around 5 megawatts here. It's always worth having a bit, basically, because, you know, you don't want to do what I did in some of the earlier streams where, you know, I basically ran out of power. That was not fun. But then I think you said I don't think you're playing with biters, are you? So it's not quite as disastrous if you run out. But yeah, it's a silly error to make. So we've got a bit of copper here, a bit of iron there. Trouble is, if I go over there, they might end up... In fact, I'll just run over, I guess. Right, let's go down here. So same procedure again, basically. Just... in fact, that's next to the one I did before, so I should have just hooked that up, but I wasn't paying attention. Oh. I mean, when I started, I had no idea. I mean, I don't actually think... It's like touch and go, to be totally honest with you, whether this will actually run the base, because I've got so many lasers and things on all these outposts that it's a massive power draw. You know, nothing's running yet. It's all just on idle. And we're sort of chugging away, you know, not far off capacity. I mean, actually, it is. It's a long way off, actually. But, you know, that's a sort of... Effectively, that's the headroom. The difference between those two, with that running, that's sort of our maximum sustainable power in reality. But yeah, it's sort of... that's not a lot, considering all of the science is not running. And a lot of it is simply because I've got such a big draw on the old lasers. Yeah, we will have to see. I mean, I don't mind adding more in. It's just more and more stuff to do, really. Right, so yeah, we'll just chuck that on there. Get that built again. This time, though, we want to chuck it in some furnaces. Have I got... I think it might have the generic... Here we go. Generic furnace, so... If I just stick that in there... Like that. Give us, say... I don't know, 4 of them or whatever. So you're just trying to get to a point of satellite launch, or just to sort of finish the game, or you got any sort of loftier goals, as it were? It's usually best to just have the, just do satellite launch and that's it. So, and then, say if you're not playing with biters, give them a go. There's no, I don't think there's any. As I've said many times before, I think, play the game the way you want, sort of thing. And if you don't enjoy biters, don't enjoy combat, then just don't do it. It's not what am I doing here? So I want, because I want 2 lanes basically, I think, with a little bit on each, again, just to test them out. So we do, what in the heck am I doing here? So if we do one of them, there we go. Oh, they've got no output. Okay. Right, that gives us a bit of stuff. 2 lanes. Right, perfect. Okay. Now where are we going with them? Straight up, basically. Same thing again, I'll just hook them into the back end of these these train things. Oh. I'll get the right keys in a minute. There we go. You're not in fact, actually, let's just get in you. Go. So let's take, if this is the, whoops. This is the copper here. So if we try and plug, I could just, yeah, let's do some of that. Take one of those over there. And then a bit of a split maybe. So maybe like that. And then I don't use it a lot, but that's quite a convenient feature. That I don't tend to use it because I tend to be more from a point of view of sort of getting the most out of the materials. Because there's a heck of a lot of materials in a underground belt, and if you only literally do that with it, it's sort of a waste in my opinion. So it's like I've got enough, materially invested in it that try and use it at maximum length if at all possible, is my sort of thought on it. Right, so there's some copper going in there. This doesn't appear to have any copper on it. Why not? Ah, I've obviously done a boo-boo. Let's send you lot down there to fix that. And then I'll hook this in. Are we literally behind the... No, it's that one that's the copper. Okay. Oops. Go over there. Oh, missed. Over here. Yeah, so let's just take it sort of over there. That way. That way. And then same again, bit of a split. Bit of a merge. And bit of a merge. Plans to get to the rocket launch, but I'm just having fun learning how things work together. Like mining and smelting part of the game and the trains. Yeah, it is sort of the... I mean, that's the core of the game, really, the mining and smelting. And trains are fun. I do like playing with the trains. It's another area I think people struggle is not quite the right word, but it's difficult to understand, particularly like chain signals and stuff. I know a lot of people get confused by what chain signals, and that's another one I was thinking, because you get a lot of Reddit posts. How does my train network work and all that, and there are a couple of rules of thumb that people say to use, and they do work, but they're not quite really correct, if you see what I mean. They're sort of they're rules of thumb, so it's like almost a way of doing it that will get it done, but it's not actually sort of correct, if you see what I mean. Oh, there's no sulfuric acid, is there? Because I was going to build a little sulfuric acid build over here. Uh-huh. I don't think I'm going to bother actually, because I'm not intending to launch a satellite or anything, so I don't think I'll bother with that until, if we get a bit of time at the end, we'll finish that off, sort of thing. But so I'd rather check all the iron and copper connections. Right, so if I... how am I going to do this? If I turn my bots off and we get somewhere close by, but not too close, otherwise it will start filling it out. Have I got miners? I have not. Right. Who's got miners? You've got miners. Right, so if we just chuck these in manually. Oh, and then he goes and ghosts them. Let's just do a line up there. Line down there. I've gotten so used to having bots and doing it that way. Right, like that. Then we will... Oh, of course I haven't got any belt, have I? Right. Like that. So I don't really need to do that. If I just do that way, and then let's just stick some... Not going to bother with the whole rigmarole of... like that. Say, put them... Oh, and of course I haven't got belt. So if I do that, a little bit on both sides in case we've got any uneven situation going on. So that gets me 2 belts. I got 4, is it, or 3? Oh, it's 3. Okay. But then I guess I need some sulfuric acid going on, don't I? So we'll do sort of 4 again. So if I just copy and paste that. Other way. No, that way. Okay. That, and then plop them in. Gonna need some power. Oh, of course, that's not. It's not hooked up to anything. And about here. Like that. My first got using shared truck for iron and coal was lessening patience. Change signals were the solution. Yeah. I don't tend to do a lot of. I do for uranium. I have trains that carry the uranium and also have the sulfuric acid on them. I don't tend to do a lot of mixed trains. No particular reason on that. Just my brain tends to work a bit more binary, I guess. A bit sort of, right, well, I need to do 1 and 1 equals 2 rather than half and half equals 1 type of thing. Yeah, so yeah, what I'm basically saying, it probably didn't really occur to me doing mixed loads, but I assume you mean so 1 carriage has coal in it, 1 in iron, or literally mixing everything together. I don't know why I'm doing that, because I need to grab some of them. Why are you not building them? Oh, there we go. Right, so I need to put these belts in. That. Okay, put that there, and that there, and that there. Cool. I might just chuck a balancer in actually, just to make sure there is some sort of on all lanes really, rather than actually balance it. Oh, just 1 train of each. Yeah. Okay. I don't know why they keep waiting. There we go. I guess there's just so many orders stacked up in the. So one of the things with bots, construction bots in particular, you can have as many, because like you see it's got over 600 here, but if you notice it cycles through, and what the game does is it cycles through your build orders, so you can have like 1 million, build orders, but the game constantly cycles through a set of 600 and tries to assign a bot to them, and then if there's no bots available, then it takes them off the list again, basically, which is quite sensible when you think about it in terms of sort of efficiency and things like that of the code. You wouldn't want 1 million build orders queued up in your code as such, as inactive and trying to assign bots to them. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take one down here, 1 down here, 1 down here, and have 1 over here for if I decide to make the sulfuric acid today. So we've gone too far with this, haven't we, really? Let's go down the other end. But what it does mean is if you have lots of orders queued up, then the bots can sit there essentially waiting and not doing anything. And actually, one of the ways of sort of forcing it is to get like your Spidertron or whatever to move or make a change in the order list, which then essentially forces the code to kick into action. So if we connect it in here temporarily, there we go. It's actually one of the, because people speedrun the game, and it's one of the things they have to contend with, that when it gets to a point where they've got bots, they can't stack up too many build orders, because otherwise none of those build orders get done in time, essentially. Right, so if we come down here with the next one and then split it between the two, where do we want to come down? We want to come down a bit. In fact, let's go the other end. There's a interesting phenomenon with I don't know if you go on the Reddit at all, but I occasionally go on there and post and stuff. And there's an interesting phenomenon called an XY problem, where you get quite a lot, where basically somebody wants to do a thing, and the thing they want to do just seems weird and like nonsensical. And the reason is because they've sort of reached a logical chain of well, I want to do this. This is what I really want to do. I should have split that down there actually. Oh. But I don't know how to do that. And then they've tried to work it through in there, as a how to do it. And sort of, oh, I'm too close, aren't I? Of how to do it. And sort of come up with a, well, if I can just do this, then that'll allow me to do this other thing. Like that. And I say it's sort of like but they don't know how to do this, probably because this in question is just impractical or, unsensible, as it were. And so they go on the Reddit to ask that, how do I do this? And it's like, why ever would you want to do that? That's the silliest thing you could imagine. And it's not because they actually want to do that thing. It's because the thing, say they've logic themselves into a position of saying, right, well, this is the solution to my problem. Whereas actually they need to step back and look at it again. And I say you get that quite a lot with trains, where they're like, is there some way of doing this weird, unloading or, something or other? And when you trace it back, it's actually, something else entirely they want to do. So yeah, it's good to look at the fundaments of what you're trying to achieve, and going from there rather than, getting too wrapped up in the solution you think you want, as it were. Right, so we need to bring that down there. I think I might just hop out, actually, but let's give that a go. Oops, don't want that. Like that. There we go. And then maybe down there. But yeah, so it's good you're working out, chain signals and stuff, because as I say, tends to be that sort of thing that people get trapped on. They get sort of, how do I get the train to do this sort of thing? And the answer, as you say, is probably something like, use a chain signal in a different section of the, of your system, rather than whatever weird thing you're trying to do. That was a strange anecdote. So it's a strange point. Not quite sure how I ended up with there, but there we go. Right, so this should get us some iron. And get that going. The reason I'm sort of not keen to do the sulfuric acid is because it's a little bit complicated in terms of the chain. And if I'm going to do it, I should set it up properly. I guess I could do a temporary one, but it requires, iron plate, sulfur, water, and that requires petroleum and water. So I guess, we could have in fact, I could actually use basic oil processing for that, couldn't I guess? We could do, because what I was thinking, which is why this is here still, is I would have a second bit going up here, and we could just tack it on the side and sort of process it in, using basic oil, just up the side here sort of thing, and turn that into sulfuric acid, and then pump it over here. But yeah. Right, so let's have a look, see, is everything sort of flowing through? We've got bits of iron coming up them. You batteries. None of them have got modules in, have they? That's annoying. I don't think I've got enough of them. No, I haven't got enough. Sticking with the basics, cool. I mean, one thing I'm speaking about these, one of the things I'm quite keen to do is to pick up my, who the heck? Oh, it's you lot, isn't it? You've got modules. Pick up the sort of a playthrough of Crash Storio that I sort of started and then kind of abandoned, basically, because. Oops. So yeah, I mean, nothing's being made at any kind of pace, obviously. I just want to check that there's no silly misconnected belts or anything like that. Okay. I'm happy that that's all connected. What about you lot? Have you got... You've got iron plate. Okay. So yes, if we decide to, go back and do the sulfuric acid now, then, that'll see that works properly. But yeah, I'd quite like to give something a bit more complex than the vanilla a go properly. One of the reasons I stopped it was, if I'm totally honest, is because I'm not sure if I want to stream it. So you've not got any steel. Is that literally because there's so little iron plate coming through? Yeah, it's just because there's so little. Tiny little trickle. And you're going into that one first anyway. Yeah. So that's a little difficult to test, isn't it? Whether that's really working or not. I'm effectively taking, 2 iron smelters worth of stuff and trying to test an entire system that uses whatever that is, 8 belts worth or something. It's just not a good idea, really. Eventually it will back up, though, because they've got nowhere to go, basically. So there's nothing, in fact, I haven't even got the, the sticky out bit there. But yeah, we need to take this plastic over here. Wasn't there somewhere else that needed plastic? Because we've got this random lane of a bit of plastic. So we'll take this over and sort of split it across those lanes. And we'll see what that looks like. Yeah, that one's available if I do want to do some sulfuric acid, basically. So, let's just hop out. Do it this way. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's just do a wanna. Like that. Copy that. Confuse me. Right. Oops. Why are you not filling that out? You're too far away, are you? Okay. Cool. Oh, that's all going the wrong way, isn't it? Brilliant. And you take, yeah, you'll take, right. Well done. Yeah, so I'm not sure about this whole plastic thing. Feels like I either need to set up some miniature train system, or maybe go bots or something, because it's a very long way for stuff to come on belts. I mean, obviously, it would be that one feeding in here, because what I sort of realised is I only built two. I was only planning on two of these, and they're only enough to really feed the actual white science. And I actually need it for satellites as well. But yeah, this, that belt, for example, would have to go all the way over here, which is a very long way. But I've done lots of bot speeds, so it'll be probably quicker to get bots to deliver it. But then I have to mess about with a more complicated bot network, which I don't mind, but because we're going to deliver satellites via bots. But that's the point, basically. I'm delivering satellites by bots because it's going to be so far. Well, that's the same distance the plastic's got to go. In fact, further in some cases. So we might as well go bots for that now. Right, so that's whatever that plastic is there. Is that enough for any of you to make any? No. Because the solar panels are using up whatever steel is being made, aren't they? Yeah, okay. I think I'm happy that it would, would be okay. But we can just leave it and it will just chunk through whatever iron it does. Okay. The other question is over here. Let's have a look at this. So, yeah. Oh, I already looked at that, didn't I? Okay, so I'm happy that those are all hooked up belt-wise. And so we can just leave it and it'll, produce a little bit of stuff eventually. And I can come back and check that it has made some low-density structures. And then if we need to, we can chuck in a sort of simple, thing there. This isn't going to look like this. This is just to remind me what I need to put there. Right then, so we now need to test the actual white science. Yeah, some bits missing there as well. Now the tricky part, this is actually the worst one because there's water a lot closer for the rest of them. But I've got some sort of tiny bit of water here that I can do it. But there you go, there's the extra plastic that we need. So we're going to have to run that all the way over here to test that. And I think there's some somewhere else as well, isn't there? No. There is some sulfuric acid. That's a point. No, I'm feeding that in already from here. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there's plastic. Okay. So, if we go up... It's a bit weird how full this belt is. I thought it might be completely empty. Right, let's put a splitter in. And then how far up are we? Because we could also... Where are they? Oh, they're all the way over there. Okay, let's not bother with that then. So, if we run down this way, we're not going to have enough belt, but there's a whole load of belt in that train, special train I did. I can't actually remember how many lanes of belt it is I need. Lanes of belt. Lanes of plastic I need. Belts of plastic I need. It's a lot. So, I mean, it's an absolutely ridiculous distance. So now that we've laid down all the belt in the world, wow. Where do we actually need to hook it into? Let's hop out of there. So I guess we could do that first. So if I just do that there. And in fact, is there a gap all the way down? There is. So actually, we could be nice and cheeky. Pop this in here. Like that. And one of them. Like that. So it would look something. Oh! Something. Like that. In fact, if I just get rid of that. No. Oh, I've not got my bots on. I have not got my bots on. There we go. So much belt that the plastic hasn't even arrived yet. Blimey. Now, we need some down the bottom here, presumably for red circuits as well. Where does that want to go? Over here. Blimey. It's a lot of inputs, but it's not actually that much material. In fact, I'll leave them there, I think, and then we'll connect up them two. So, we want something like that. Something like that. Something like that. Oops. Like that. Like that. There. So if I copy that bit, I need to take out that bit each time. You're going to be exactly in the way, are you? Okay. 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 Yeah, okay. Okay, I think we can lose that tiny little bit of... Have I got any landfill? I have. Okay. This little bit here, I think. Don't think that'll be the proverbial camel that breaks the proverbial back of that. In fact, what's that? That's not really doing anything. Right. I'll go over here maybe. And then down here. So I've actually forgotten how many lanes of plastic we really need. Right. So that should be some plastic going in there. All the way down? Eventually, maybe. Okay. Now, whoops. Now, I need to hook copper in there and there, and iron in there and there. So we might as well grab some from both of those. I'm still kind of amazed we haven't heard anything about the expansion. Seems a bit sort of weird that it's been so long. Because I kind of... I mean, they've always done their own thing, really. But if you were like a marketing person, you'd want to tie up to something, sort of like 12 months after the launch of the game, here's what the expansion needs, because we don't know anything. I mean, we literally know nothing other than that they've hired the guy who did the space expansion mod. So everyone's guessed that that's what it is, but we don't know. They've not said anything. I say, which strikes me as a little odd. For it to say nothing at all. Right, so again, we'll stamp down, since we've got the bots and the things, we'll stamp down, where are they? A couple of them. Like that. And put some of them in. Like that. And then put the old output. I guess we do the same thing again. Check those. Spiders are in the way. Okay. Now we need some power. Like that. So you're making... No, you're not. Why have you not? Oh. Because I didn't connect it. That's fine. And where do you need to go? You need to go to these two, both of which are a single thing. I think actually I might take them both along the bottom there. Yeah, let's just do that. I don't think we'll have enough belt, so we might as well go and see what the train has. Yeah, oh, it's... Yeah. So yeah, the other thing I want to do today, or at least start, rather than do that sulfuric acid, I'm really not fussed about that at the moment, is start thinking about the new version of... Outposting is the wrong word, but new version of construction, basically. Expansion, rather. because I want to do a different approach so that I'm not making outposts from now until into eternity, which will basically be expanding the walls essentially. So we've got what belt we've got. Cool. I'm thinking about, so if I ever do this again, I'll probably do some system that involves that sort of an approach where I have some train that delivers, or either, you know, automated in some way, or perhaps it's my train like that, and it sort of turns up and just dumps stuff as needed. The tricky part to that, and why I sort of went more down the spider route, is that basically you if you have it dropping stuff off automatically, it kind of either needs to drop off exactly what it needs, or you need some way of sending it all back again, or what's left back again. And from experience, that's a bit of a nightmare, particularly in terms of loading things into train, because if you need like 36 inserters, you know, that's a wacky number. In fact, let's put a little splitter on this. That's a sort of a wacky number to deal with. So you either got to, you know, have a train. Somebody's got to have some splitters somewhere that is only carrying this strange number, and you've got to find a way of getting the logic to manage it, essentially. Or you need a way of returning it. And one of the things with returning material that you've dropped off at the same station is it can get quite complicated to actually do. And is it worth bothering compared to the simple solution? Right, let's yeah, I think I'd go right down the bottom and just sort of hop over at the back here somewhere. In fact, we don't need to get that far down. Yeah, that'll do. Doesn't do the auto. No, it doesn't, does it? No, and it won't. Won't replace it either. Okay, let's just. Oh. That's too far. Brilliant. Okay. Because I just want to hook into this basically, and then take one up there as well. Okay. Okay. Out of the way, everybody. Right, won't let me do that, will it? Because trains. Right, so let's just do it this way. One at a time. Let's say we can hook in here again. And then the t'other one. Oh, it's gotten confused there. Okay. 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 Where are we going? Over there. Okay. Oh. There. So that's the iron. Oh, have I not got any more of them left? 22. Okay, yeah. Should be enough, shouldn't it? 2, 4, 6, yeah. Is there iron? Yeah, there's iron. Cool. Okay, so let's go and plop them in. And then we're going to do the same job for the copper. The copper's slightly easier because it's right there. And where are they? They're over here. Oh, I need to put the coal in as well, don't I? Because it's coal. Liquefaction, and we already know, I think, that this isn't... No? Oh, no. Looks like that's probably hooked in properly. Here we are. We need to put water in there. Copper. Copper. I mean, all this, all this nonsense is just, I say, it's literally just for testing, really. It's not actually going to exploit these particular patches. But the idea is to switch to a system where we do exploit internal patches rather than all of my outposting, because it's proving, or it will prove, too much of a headache, basically. Right, so we'll send one of them. Yeah, might as well. But no, let's balance the two up, because I've no real feel for whether it's gonna sort of produce enough stuff. So we just skip over the top. Let's not do that, actually. Let's go along. No, we're going to have to. Okay. So go up there. Around there. Across here. Now, are you unloading on both sides? You are, aren't you? That's annoying. Okay, so let's stick one in here. Proper spaghetti, this. Right, so one in there. Like that. And one in here. Dear me. Let's just power this up. Like so. Oh. There we go. Copper, copper, copper. Copper, copper, copper. Copper, copper, copper. Superb. Right, now, where the heck are we going with this copper? Going over here. Unloads on both sides. That's annoying. So if I sort of come down there, that's going to cause me the least problems. Oops. If we've got enough belt. Let's go over to here-ish. So they're out the way. Put the coal up then, and then the water. Right, where do I actually need to bring this? So if we go across here, maybe. Like that. And then go down, across, down, across. And then put one across there. Split that. Oops. Like that. Then you across there. Oh, you across there. Feed that in. It's going to take me hours to tidy all this up. At least we can see it's all working basically. So we got iron flowing there. We got iron flowing there. We got. Oh, no, something gone wrong there. Can't tell what's going on there. So they're upside down. So this is steel. Oh yeah, there is a little bit of iron trickling up. So we should maybe be getting... Yeah, there is a bit of steel in those. Some in those, but no copper. Oh, of course, they're the ones that it's gone. Let's go and address that. Then we can plug in the coal. I'm quite a fan of the tiny amount of coming in because when I made the error with the military stuff and I had to pick it all up again, that literally took hours of work basically to pick all of those chests up with, I think it was coal mostly. It's because I'd set the trains going. So you've not got any iron, but I wouldn't expect you to, because it's only there. But I know, I mean, most of these are repeated, so I sort of know they're not a problem. Now, let's go and hook in a little bit of coal. I can spider this, I think. And we, no, wrong way. We don't need anything like the same complexity, because it's just mine it and go. Actually, let's do that. And then going down the bottom here. Oh. Let's do this here. So, if I just do that crude thing there, that crude thing there. Oops. No, that's a bad idea. Because I want a test down here. In fact, why don't I take that around? Put you there. And maybe we do take that on the other side. There we go. That's not got a thing on it. There we go. So we need to hook water in. Like this. Underground. We're going underground. Right, and I need to work out. I guess I could just go across. If we go through one of these gaps. Oh, I remember. That's because that's the sulfuric acid one. Okay. That's not. Ah, I put those too close together to allow a pipe. That was dumb. I have, haven't I? Unless it's because that no, it's like that's too far. Oh, that's annoying. Where are you actually going? You're all going up there. Can I move one of these over? I think I can. What's the simplest solution to that? Simplest solution is probably essentially moving this over one to there, and then essentially we get rid of or move this outer lane over to the inner lane, because this goes straight to an independent. There's no splitter on that one. How was that going to work? So if I make that the independent one, is that going to work? That's the wrong position. Not sure this is the simplest, but it's what we're doing. So yeah, so essentially I'm transferring, the splitter sort of down essentially. Like that. Which is a little confusing, if I'm honest. And so that becomes a splitter. Like that. But that's just a straight lane again. Oh no, that one does need to be a splitter. But now it's there. Is that right? So and that's the independent one. Okay. That then gives me enough room to take this away. Except now I'm running into that, so I actually want to be a bit further up. So I want to be somewhere there. Something like that. I don't know how to complicate these, didn't I? Oh well. Right, so we can go up that way. Now, where is the water? Water's here. So, water pump. Just one of those randomly. Haven't got any undergrounds. Brilliant. So, do that. Are you gonna... No, you're not. Thought you might play ball with the... Oh, okay. With the pipe lengths, but you're not going to, are you? You're going to be one short every time. Yep, one short every time. So that's in the wrong place, really. Okay. So I really need it to be there. Oops. Like that. And like that. Like that. Like that. Like that. Okay. We're getting there. We're getting there. This is always going to be a painful process because it's a pretty complicated build. And this is only 1/6 of them. You know, this thing. And I was starting to wonder. In fact, I'm starting to wonder. Why is there no... Oh, of course, because it's not filled out. Whether I got confused somewhere, and maybe I need one of those plastic builds for every single one of these. That would seem a lot, but it is low density structures, which are a bit of a hog for plastic. Okay, so that's at least connected and pumping. Pumpy, pumpy, pumpy. There is water. So it's going to need loads of pumps on it and stuff like that. But proof of principle, we have steam. Hallelujah. Now, I then need to do exactly what I did on the other one, which was what? It was to disconnect that and disconnect that. Pop one of these on to prime the heavy oil. Pop 5 of them in there. Pop 5 of them in there. That kickstarts them. We'll let it go a little bit so that there's at least some oil in the system. And then we'll take them out, reconnect that, and see if all of them kick in, which they do. Damn you, trees. All of our pumps are pumping. All of our machines are running-ish. You're not. Why are you not? It's just not very much light oil. And this has got a condition on it because, of course, we need light oil to make rocket fuel rather than solid fuel in preference. And we've got a couple of them there. Why are you not working? You're not working because you also need water. Oh, okay. Right, so there's a water pump there as well. Okay. That's interesting. How are we going to get that one over? I guess with a bit of magic. Because I can't put anything. Could maybe put it there. Oops. And then We can go along this area here. I don't have any undergrounds, do I? So maybe it comes along here. Except cannot build on water. So how about we give it some landfill to work with? Put that like that. And then this can go along here. I mean, because it's sulfuric acid, it's an almost negligible amount of water needed, but that's fine. So rather than connect it here, oops, perhaps we connect it somehow else. Where would be a good connection point that's not too messy? Possibly. Where's it gone? Oh, it's here. Possibly. Maybe like that instead. So I cross over there. Like that. One of them. Maybe like that actually. Right, so let's get the spiders up and fill that in. It's also going to need, I need to fill all of this in. Like that. It's also going to need that one random line of iron plate which connects here. And unfortunately I seem to have overlapped that on. Oh right, so that's a proper line of iron plate because it feeds to grid circuit as well. Okay. Let's just sort of stick it in really. And I can maybe do some tidying up later, but where's this iron plate line? Oh, it's here. Okay. It's here. Stand still. No. Oh, that's it there. Right. So, is everybody working? We've got some coal flowing up into the old coal liquefaction. We've got some of these working. You're just waiting for that iron plate. And here it comes, my friend. So you start squirting out sulfuric acid. That causes blue circuits to not happen. Oh, because there's green circuits there. Why are you waiting? You're waiting because you've got green circuits everywhere. That is clearly an error. What has happened there? You've not got any green circuits. Why have you not got any green circuits? Where are your green circuits? Your green circuits are there. Oh, right, and here. Huh. Why are you not making... Oh, because of the infinitesimal trickle of copper. Okay. So no, not an error, but just such a small amount of red circuits that yeah, because that needs red circuits and it's not getting any. Where are those blue circuits going? They're going up there. Oh, right, into RCUs. Okay. Has this even made one speed module? I don't think it probably has it? But that would output there. Wow, I might just chuck some... I've probably got some reds, have I? No? No, I've not even got any reds. Okay. Okay. But fundamentally, we've got rocket fuel, low density structures. Oh, and there are a couple of RCUs being made. Okay, so... And we got some RCUs. Hurrah! Hurrah and huzzah. So, is that everything tested? God dear, that was a bit of an adventure. What I could just go and look at, because it's had a little while to chunk through. Huh. Because they both need sulfuric acid, don't they? Okay. Okay. Because it's 5:30 already over here. So I obviously only usually go till 6. So there's no way we're going to start. In fact, let's test out. Let's go over. I'm thinking is I'll head back and we'll do a sort of general restock of everybody. And I'll kind of almost test out the whole drawing tool thing. Because what I'm anticipating, what I want to do, what's a more useful color? Probably is white going to show up best? Yeah, I think that probably shows up best. So what I want to do effectively... Oh, I'm trying to move the map. No? Well, that's a bit confusing. Right. So what I want to do, basically, is extend down here. Right? Probably literally down to there. And then across there. Let's move the map on here. There we go. Oh, that's confusing, isn't it? As if I move that map. But basically, you imagine the other corner, over here, right? But I don't want to do it with this type of wall. What I want to do, let's zoom in. What I want to do is some sort of system. So we've got the logistics network here, and it only connects. So the construction bots can only really get to. Sorry, the logistics bots can only really get to these chests. And I don't want the new system to connect to these. I want to do a logistics bridge. Okay. But as you can see, there's a lot of rubbish here. So basically, there's a lot of, well, it's not rubbish, but a lot of walls and a lot of, turrets and all that sort of stuff. So what I need to come up with is a way of connecting between the two systems so that these bots, which are going to, because they're resourced through trains turn up and provide all of these things, and I don't want anything particularly past these as such. You know, all the extra walls are going to be is you know probably a single lane of wall a bit further out. Bing bong bing, and then like loads and loads of laser turrets. Okay, but what I'm going to have to do is so let's try it here. So if I turn that on, so that's we're going across the turbines. That's the artillery. And what I want to do is sort of almost like a creeping expansion of artillery. So that we put, say, I mean, it'd probably be quite small, but because these are like 12 roboports long, and I think that's a goodish distance. So we could have effectively a new line of roboports. So this is like 12 roboports. Oh, 12 roboports. And then there's another break. So that's a break there and that's a break. So this is one logistics network. So what we'll probably end up doing is putting down, let's use black. So we'll probably put an artillery piece for each of the roboports and just slowly creep it forwards because at the bottom here, you know, in fact, I've forgotten about them. I was going to clear some of this out. But we need to do like a slowly advancing barrage of artillery so that we don't trigger too big an attack volume. So we just want to do a bit each time. So I'll probably do a system where for each roboport, we'll plop down a bit of artillery and it'll include the roboport, and the roboport will build the new artillery, thing, and then I'll pick it. Well, then I'll build another one and pick the actual artillery piece up and replace it with, because I want to do it remotely, basically. And so we need a connector. We need some kind of connection here that is a logistics bridge, but also doesn't leave us defenseless or a gap in any defenses. And then it's an artillery piece. I need to turn my requests on. There we go. So it's an artillery piece, and it clears out whatever's down at its edge, which won't be too much to start with, but it clears it out. And once that's all done, I can then basically delete all that, replace it with a more permanent wall structure, and lasers and wall basically, and then move on to the next one. So it won't be hugely quick, but it will be, advancing out. And my idea is then basically I do that because these obviously have a big range now, but we've also got these. I effectively connect to each of the trains, so I have one here, and then effectively where the next train is, another one there, and I say I can either go out parallel and do all of them at the same time, or I can just advance this all the way down. Oh, am I full? And then do the next one and do the next one. What am I full of? Oh, of course I got them. And I've got that. And we need to keep the boilers. I've also technically got them. What am I missing? Oh, no, we'll be okay there. Yeah, so that's my sort of new principle, my new idea, basically. But I need to design all of that, system. Now we don't have to actually. We could. I mean, we probably will do it here because it's fairly. I don't know what this is. I don't know if it's a random turret or because it can't be a biter. Must be a random turret left over from something else. I don't know. Very weird. But we'll probably will do it here because it's a nice little spot and it's fairly protected. And even if we trigger some kind of weird attack or something, it'll only be tiny because the extra range will only be like a robopot's length, so it'll be fairly modest. And we can actually use that to test it. But basically, it'll bring over the bits that it needs across the logistics bridge. But all that's going to be, so it's going to be like we're not going to have guns on, traditional guns on it. I will need to do something with construction bots going across the gap and being put into a roboport, with some kind of logical network. But we're going to need repair packs and lasers and walls. But that's kind of it. The thing this doesn't have, as it's just occurring to me, is the actual artillery piece. Because we are going to want artillery to be here permanently to do that job, basically to clear out anything that colonises. So they are going to need to be on there. So that is something. So really, we need to add artillery to the train system. We've obviously got this in carriage, which hasn't got a lot in it, so we can easily stick that in. But it'll mean going round to every. Well, I don't need to do every one. We could just do these ones and add in an extra, extra little bit for artillery pieces. But then everything else is there. I think we've got the power poles, substations, walls, stuff. And this is all automatically set up with the train to deliver stuff, when it gets low. Except it's only set up for these, but of course those are going to be used as we, expand the border. So it will keep getting signals to do these, and then it'll fill these up incidentally. And I could always force a train to come up here. So say that's the new plan. So that's what we'll do tomorrow. I'm happy now. Are we all full up? I think we're all full up, aren't we? I'm happy now that these designs basically work. There were a couple of errors, so I do need to fix them, but nothing major. I can't even remember what the errors were. There were some mistakes with these, weren't there? And in fact, I only ever. Why is there no? Oh, I disconnected it completely, didn't I? So I suppose in a sense I didn't leave it running. So maybe some other problems would have emerged. But things like that, I need to correct that in the other two, basically. That's not a problem. Yeah, so we'll go down and set up this little sulfuric acid build. And that'll be us for today. And then tomorrow we will pick up with the designing the wall extension. And the big point with that, the big plan, is that I'm going to capture, as it were, all of this. I'm going to have to do a bit of land filling, for wherever the walls end up. But I'm not going to landfill all of this. This is just because everything's built now. Well, they're not obviously. It's need filling in, but everything's laid out and is functionally there in terms of building. All I need now are resources, but all is is quite a term because the amount that I need is ridiculous. But there are all sorts of patches in this that I probably wouldn't want to outpost, or would be difficult to outpost, or inefficient to outpost. But if I just grab everything here, then I can set up, mining and smelting and all that sort of stuff as needed. And the idea is essentially to have each of these will be a line going out. So these will each go out, and then I just need to feed in Then I need to feed in everything it needs. So this needs iron, copper, and coal, and it's like two of each basically. Two each of iron and copper, and one coal, probably two coal in reality, because it's quite heavy with the rocket fuel. So that means I need to then find, say 2 iron. That one might be tricky, but 2 of these just to hook the trains onto. So we may need to go out further, but and they're unevenly distributed, but we can pick all of these up basically. And if it turns out there's not enough, or is not closely enough related, I've then got a nice easy system for extending it further, because that's the problem basically. These take ages to set up. I quickly run out. Well, not quickly. There's not enough. There's only enough stuff in all of the spiders I've got to do one outpost usually, and then I'm usually short of something, and it just adds an enormous amount of time. And I say the other option is I can do something with trains, dropping stuff off. But as I say, it can get quite messy and complicated and hard and difficult. And I think just extending this, because I literally need one oil patch. I don't need any stone anymore for this, because there's no stone or stone bricks. So it's just iron and copper patches, of which there are loads. Coal patches, which there are plenty of as well, and one oil patch, which I could, if I could grab one of these that are inside already for the oil. I don't even really need a train, but you have to run. So yeah, no problem, Ian. Thanks for joining me. I'm literally gonna fiddle about and stick on a sulfuric acid, so you're not gonna miss much. But I hope you have a good day. Thanks for joining me. Always very good to have someone to chat to. Oh, I'm here. Oh, I've arrived. Okay. Right, yes. So I need to do a bit of a sulfuric acid build, but nothing too insane. Ultimately, I am also. I could also do that. I could sort this out as more sensible, really, because I'm gonna have to leach a little bit of iron and copper. Because luckily, the batteries right here have iron and copper, and that's what I need. So I can literally just they're right there, and I can just take that over. So that's nice and easy. But yeah, I also need to leach off a bit of iron plate, and I can probably take it from here because this is the last one in the row. So it's the one that's most likely to not be needed, if you see what I mean. Yeah, so if we grab a bit of iron plate from here, I am full of everything, so it's probably going to give me a warning if I do that. So let's see if we can't chuck. Oh, you've got random stuff in you as well. If I chuck these in here, there we go. Right, so I want to grab that. But yeah, happy that this is functional, as it were. I'm gonna have to go back to the calculator and think and work out. Did I make a mistake with the plastic? Did I math it wrong, basically? Right, so if this was could I just leach some? That's a bit dangerous. No, I'm not happy doing that. I think I'll do oil again, and we'll probably let's just pinch this and sort of plop it. Yeah, plop it here maybe. Something like that. Obviously this is in the way. And then, so in theory it would be some oil from this side. Oh, what are you doing? Oil from this side. Like this. And like that. Oh, like that. Also need some water, which we can just steal from there. Because let's reroute that entirely, I think. In fact, I don't need that anymore. Yeah, so that's the thing there, isn't it? So we'll grab that, take this round. hook it in here temporarily. No, like that. And that's just the water there. Cool. Now, you lot come over here. Oh, I don't even need the water. Don't even need the water, do I? Because if I go with basic oil processing, it's just oil, so I don't actually need the water. So that's even easier. Oh, is that not? Oh, okay. Did something wrong there, did I? Oh, yeah, there's one of those missing. So we don't need any of this. And I can just flip that round. Oop. So we need, first off we need, oh I do need water in the end, because of course that's going in there. How far up do those reach? So got some options, because that's sulfur. And then this will be sulfuric acid. This is in the territory of I don't know that I need. How am I going to get the water in? Maybe I flip this round entirely. And so this comes in here. And then it's a simple case of doing that. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Like that. One of you there, which I'm going to struggle to get out. So why don't we do something like that instead to there, like so. So you can make sulfur, and then we just literally yeah, it has to be there though. And then this is the acid. Oh. Okay. Let's add one on there then. Like that. And then we want stacks there, stacks there. We want something there. And this is this iron plate. Can those go a bit further up? Oh, okay. No room in the inventory. Okay, so let's do that. Pop them in there. Out the way. It's all very inefficient. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. And then we want belt. That way. I guess that probably won't actually be there, or there'll be more belts, so I'll just do that temporarily. In fact, if it's more likely to be, probably going to be something like that in a better way. So we will stick in one of them one of them. Some of them. Cool. Okay, so we need sulfuric acid somewhere else. Away from here. So okay, where am I actually feeding the sulfuric acid in? Is it all round that side? Yeah, it's all feeding in there, isn't it? Okay. So I need to take it all the way over. Like so. Just going to need a pump on it, I think, but... Oops. It's definitely going to need a pump or two. To there. To there. So since we've got that there, might as well pinch that. Why you've not got... Oh, well, one thing I've not not actually replaced the... Okay. So that's all hooked up. But why is there no... Or is it just that it produced a tiny... Oh, it must have done. We've got a handful of blue circuits. But why have you stopped? Oh, because I didn't connect that. In fact, there's no point going around there if I'm just hooking it in there. Okay, so you're going to make a little bit of something something, and you want to go as far as up as you can, like that. Oh dear. Right, so yeah, cool. We might as well stick them in because, you know, why ever not? Let's just make sure this is well fed. Yeah, so it's occasionally jittering with petroleum. Hopefully that's enough sulfuric acid. May not be actually, but I don't mind adding, you know, another thing on it. No, it's not going to be enough, is it? No. Okay. I don't want to mess around with advanced oil or anything. Really? It's a bit of a pain in the bum having to do all that cracking. I mean, it's not struggling for input, but it's just not quite providing enough. So if I literally get rid of this, stick another one of these on here, which we will feed there, but ultimately would actually be coming that way. Might just disconnect that in case. Of course, that's not connected. Well done. Are you getting enough stuff now? Yeah, you're full. Are you? Oh, you're not quite getting all the sulfur, are you? So that'll be putting it... In fact, let's get rid of that. What we can do instead is more sort of traditional way I do it. Oh, I can't though, can I? Because that's too close. I have to do it on the other side. Let's put that in there. Like that. Like that. And then a bit about. So that increases the amount going that way. I mean, I don't really need these speeds, I don't think, but... Oh, and now, of course, there's no iron plate, so... It's going to be difficult to tell whether that's made any real benefit. Just still struggling for stuff. In which case, we can still have those. And we just need to figure out sort of where to put them. Yeah, so now it's difficult to know how it's performing because it's not going to get any iron plate, basically. We'll have to hope that's okay. It should be okay. But if not, you know, I can come and add... I mean, what I can do, I literally just double this up, basically, so... Because this will actually support more machines, so I could, you know, it's like a loading problem rather than a capacity problem necessarily. And in fact, I could do... It's just a nutty bit of belt spag. In fact, might be... Oh. Yeah, anyway, I can fiddle about with that. That's fine-tuning stuff, that. Yeah, okay. So, just to sort of end things off, possibly going to run slightly over. Oh. Oh. Turrets are having some fun, aren't they? Cool. Is this side of it. So, because that's one. This is one, isn't it? And then we got that going that way. And this should be rocket fuel. I think I need to stick these two together. I might as well. Pop a balancer on if I can find it. There it is. Cool. So that's the rocket fuel. What else do you need? You need solar panels. And low density structures, which are up here. Same thing again. Here, like that. Why are there no low density structures at all? Is this seriously still eating all the steel? Wow. That makes me wonder whether we'll need more iron plate, because it's kind of, given it's been sat here for 3 hours. I mean, it's such a tiny flow, it's very difficult to tell. Because, you know, these haven't even stacked up onto, and I've just removed all of the stuff, so, yeah. In fact, let's move these up a bit. Like that. Yeah. But it's not made a single low density structure in all that time, which is interesting. Interesting. Yeah, these connect here. So in theory, that's all of the things, apart from low density structures and radar. And as noted, we're not going to do this with the radar because it's a bit daft. Let's leave it power though. Let's leave the actual machines so that I don't sort of forget. For the time being, get rid of that stuff though. Yeah, because we might as well, you see, do direct insertion. And we'll have iron gear wheels there. We'll have cable there, green circuits there. Do you also... Oh, you need iron plate, don't you? That's not very convenient of you. So why don't I instead do that maybe? And then we end up with, say, iron plate. Oops, gear wheels. Circuits. Oops. So gear wheels, circuits, and then we'll have copper there. So you only literally, is it 1? 5 radar. So we don't need to produce these at anything like any sort of, you know, fast rate. I could even direct insert there, thinking about it, but you know, this way I can at least see some radars stacked up on the belt. So we need 3 lanes. Well, we don't need 3 lanes. We need 3 bits of iron plate and 1 bit of copper. And we know that we've got some excess here. Oops. If I can get that the right way around. In fact, let's do that. Let's do it there. That's iron plate. And then these have copper and iron plate on them. So what I need to do, I need a bit more room really. Let's pull this up. What I probably need to do, how do I want to do this? There's various ways you can do this. I mean, we could filter one onto one side of the belt, and then maybe yeah, why don't I just, so we've got some iron plate, all of these. I'm going to join this. Probably not sensible having it there, but that'll do. Let's go underground with this one. And in fact, why don't I just combine those two like that? Oh. Load of junk, is it? Let's get the spiders over. And I'll chuck a load of junk in the spiders. Yeah, gone a little bit over. So, just to say, I stream this Factorio series every Saturday. In fact, yeah, let's be a bit more. So in fact, I didn't need to do that. Could do that, and then no, I need. Will you shush? Yeah, stream this series every Saturday and Sunday. Well, I'm basically trying to make a Megabase, something I've never done before. If you're watching this live or on the VODs, that's the sort of aim of the series. We're very, very close. It's just I've made the realization that basically what I've been trying to do without posts is impractical. So that's the problem we need to solve. Because what I'm thinking here is we do an underground, and then I can just take these two lanes, do a splitter, balancer rather, 2 to 3. Like that. Which is in slightly the wrong place. Well done. And we just feed them in there. So it doesn't need a big flow of material or anything. Just needs some stuff. Because, you know, it only needs 5 satellites. So, you know. In fact, I could put prods in there maybe. Sort of slow it down. I can't do prods in there, I don't think. No. And then we need the copper out of the rest of them. All going into that. How are we going to do that then? We could... What we could do, which is what I was considering doing before, because it's on the correct side of the belt for this, is something like that. I mean, what's the point of having belts if I'm not going to do a bit of spaghetti? That's the key consideration. Yeah, so in theory that's everything. Obviously the low density structures just aren't happening because, you know, there's such a tiny trickle of iron plate coming in. Yeah, I don't think it's made a single bit of steel, but that's fine. I'm happy that that is correctly set up. So it's green circuits that it is slightly slow on. Which it's slow because it's slow. We could put a mix in and then an extra one of those. I mean, they're like half a second to make a, and there you go. You see, it's already, you know, made enough that it's got a stack of them on the belt. And we don't need these, although they, you know, they're 5-second craft times, but that's kind of the point. We don't need need one every 5 seconds. We don't even need one every minute, basically, because in fact we do. We need 6 a minute, which is what, 15 seconds or something. I don't know, whatever. Well, we don't need anything, and I can always come and stick in. You know, I could stick on another, you know, one of those. There'll be enough sort of spare material coming up here to keep all of this happy. And if there isn't, I can just go and grab. You know, we've got copper here, and iron plate here, so we can leech off from elsewhere if we need to. But yeah, so this is a tiny concern in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, that's it for today. I will be back tomorrow when we will implement the other part of what I was hoping we might get to today, which is this extension system. Or at least we will start on it. What I will try and do in the meantime, so before the next stream, I will do the corrections, because there weren't many, do the corrections to these, and then we can have the spiders basically going back and forth while I design this thing. Yeah, so they can build all of these, and so we're ready to go basically. Once I've set it all up, and then we can, encapsulate all of this. And if it isn't enough, we've got a simple system then, hopefully, for extending further to grab more material. The only question then will be these. Do I do something similar? Do I just extend the walls a bit over here? The trouble with that is there's not really enough material. We are going to have to get some of these. So maybe we do stick with some outposting. But yeah, so that's all to come. There's going to be a few weeks to go yet. Speaking of which, I will not be streaming next week because I will be at EGX. Fingers crossed, assuming I can get some petrol. Which seems to be a situation that's easing in the UK, but you never know how people are going to panic. But yeah, that's it for today. If you've been watching, hope you've enjoyed it, and you might consider following on YouTube, join the live streams, or subscribing, or liking on YouTube, any of that sort of stuff. YouTube channel is Trismegistus or Triggles for the VODs. Thanks for watching. Cheers.